Welcome to the Runna Podcast. I'm Coach Anya, an international marathon runner.
And I'm Coach Ben, and one of the co-founders of Runna.
Each week, we'll be deep diving into the world of running, speaking to some inspiring individuals about their running journeys.
Runna is the #1 rated running coaching service worldwide. We help hundreds of thousands of people all over the world train for any running goal. And if you want to try out Runna for free, you can try it out using the code Runna Podcast, all one word, to get 2 weeks of free access to the Runna app.
We have the most exciting guest today, two-time Olympic medalist and very special person to Runna, being one of our coaches and investors. It's the world champion triathlete, Beth Potter.
Hey Beth, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. We're very excited to have you on the podcast today. I guess would love to start off by asking, what is it that got you into moving your body and into sport on day one?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been doing sport for as long as I can remember, and I've just loved it. I think, yeah, it just makes you, I don't know, it makes you feel alive, and it's a really good stress releaser for me. And I think even when I can't be bothered or don't feel like going for a run, I think, or any exercise really, I think I always feel better after training.
And did you play sport as a kid? Did you play sport with your parents, or like what was it that got you started really?
My mum and dad used to take me to swimming lessons, so that's where I started off, and I was obsessed. Like, even from like when I used to just paddle around or go on holiday, they couldn't get me out of the water. So yeah, I probably started there, and then I started running like fairly late in life, like as 12, 13-year-old. So yeah, and I never did it as a really youngster. But yeah, I just love it, and I think, you know, loads of my friends are from sport in some way, and just, yeah, it's such a good community, and yeah, I just don't know what my life would be like without it.
That's amazing. And are your parents sporty?
Yes, and my whole family's sporty. My mum is a jog leader for Jog Scotland, and she takes like a running Couch 5k club at our club back home. My dad is a 301 marathoner at 64.
Wow.
And my sister is also, yeah, she trains with us back in Leeds, and she's racing in Valencia in December in the marathon.
So it's in the blood then?
Yeah, we're all obsessed.
Yeah. So do you think it's more almost genetically in you, or do you think it's the environment that you've grown up in and now made almost your friendship groups and your lifestyle that leads you to be where you are, or a combination of both?
I don't know. I think, you know, we're the kind of family that if you come and stay, expect to be doing a 5k in the morning that you get up. So, yeah, definitely just, we love it all. We all love it, and yeah, we do it most days. So, yeah, and I think it's good.
So were you a competitive swimmer when you were a child, or what point did your running and your swimming turn into, you know, trying to be competitive?
Yes, I competed for Northern Embers then, which is from where I'm from back home in Glasgow, and I was a 200 metre backstroker. So I did freestyle, but I was more kind of in the backstroke kind of area. And yeah, I loved it. I competed at nationals, and like I tried really hard, but like the best I would ever do was like second or third at nationals, Scottish nationals, not English nationals, because that was way more competitive. Just FYI. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And then when I was entered in a race at school when I was in primary school. We had to do this race at the secondary school, and I hadn't run before, but I was quite fit from all the swimming, and I went to do this race and I won. And I wasn't like elated at the end from winning the race. I was upset because I'd swallowed a fly, and I still remember that. Like I was crying because I'd swallowed this fly, and thought I was going to be sick, and I was like, Dad, I've swallowed this fly. And he's like, but you just won. I was like, yeah, but the fly. So yeah, like I didn't, and then it took a couple of years for me to kind of get into it from there, and you know, joined City of Glasgow, which is no longer exists anymore. And yeah, I just loved it. I had a really good group of girls to train with, and yeah, got success really quickly. You know, I was only in the sport for like a year, and I was already making like junior GB teams, and like very quickly I realised that I was a lot better at this than I was at swimming, but you know, kept the swimming up, and probably as the running kind of took over the swimming, I would just use it for fitness at that point. And then when I went to university, the swimming kind of just petered out completely, and I just I just did running.
Well, I have a theory that people who swim when they're younger are really successful. Like I didn't realise that swimming when you're a kid is such hard work, and it's like double days from the beginning, and you're constantly tired and you're really fit. And I think that sets runners up really well. That everyone that I know just has this really good work ethic when they started out swimming.
Yeah, I mean, swim training is hard. Like it's early mornings, and I was like, when I look back and see what I did around like a whole week at school, like we were getting swimming, running, music. It was just full on guides. I just had a great social life when I was at school. But yeah, I think it is hard because you've got like, you know, hours in the pool every day, like, you know, anywhere between 2 and 4 hours swimming up and down a pool. It's a lot.
If for a kid.
Yeah, no, I guess it's so mentally tough as well. Where it's not like you
want to do it.
Yeah, you're staring at the bottom of the pool. You've got to be really mentally strong.
Yeah,
there.
Definitely. And like I had so many like good friends, which made it fun as well. So yeah, I loved the swim club days.
And you mentioned you went off to uni.
Mm-hmm.
I guess an interesting kind of side note that probably most people don't know is you go on to become a physics teacher. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what did you study at uni?
So I went to Loughborough mainly because the day that I went to look around, everyone was out playing sport, and I was like, this is the place for me. So went there, spent 4 years there. 4 years of not actually doing that much running because I was really injured. So I actually, ironically, spent a lot of time in the pool, aqua jogging or swimming. So yeah, and then I would have periods of time where I was able to run before I was injured again. So like that was quite a tough 4 years. Probably learned quite a lot, and then from there, as I was quite young when I went to uni, so I was 17, so obviously I had graduated by the age of 21. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. So just one thing about me is I don't like not having a plan for the next thing, so I just threw myself into a teacher training course in London at St Mary's University because my coach in my final year was Mick Woods, and he is based in London. So I moved down here and really found like the love for running again. Like it was brilliant. You know, like I had the goal of making a Commonwealth Games team in my home city, and once I did that, I obviously was so like pumped after that I went for the Olympics. And yeah, I think it was after the Rio Olympics where I don't know, everyone talks about the Olympic blues, and that is a thing, but just kind of fell out of love with it and decided to try something completely new, completely different, and here we are now, triathlon. That's how it happened. So
I guess kind of like you left uni where, did you study physics?
Yeah, so I studied physics at Loughborough, so spent 4 years there, and then again just didn't know what I wanted to do. That's why I've always kind of just gone with what I enjoyed. So I enjoyed physics at school, so I was like, right, I'll do that at university. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, right, well, I'll go to London, I can teach physics, and then I've always got something to fall back on if the sport doesn't work out.
And so you left Loughborough having had a pretty tough time with lots of injuries.
Yeah.
And you're doing your teacher training and also training hard at St Mary's.
Yeah.
And at what point did you start to click that you're getting pretty good at running and that the Olympics as a path was something that was...
I think when I qualified for Glasgow,
And that was in the 10,000 or?
I did both, so 5 and 10. Yeah, I just, I felt like it was a realistic opportunity now. Like I have competed, in a senior team. That was my first year stepping up. In a senior team, I've done it at the Europeans that year and the Commonwealth Games. And I just thought, it's, I'm close to the kind of qualifying time. It's definitely, realistic now. And I put all my eggs in one basket and just went for it.
And so how old were you at the point where at this point in the story you're really recognising that your running's going pretty well? How old are we?
21, 22, but
Okay,
it's still never certain. No. And that's why I did have the job, because I couldn't afford to just do it on its own. I had to work alongside it.
Hard to make a living as a professional athlete, especially, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult. I think some sports more challenging than others, but especially with like the sponsor opportunities. And I think for me, I also needed something where I wasn't just thinking about it all the time, because there's not enough training to like fill the day. I could work a job around it, and it was like that was quite a healthy distraction. If I got injured or things weren't going to plan.
So it's quite a funny small world. So my little sister's boyfriend used to be one of your physics pupils.
I've had quite a few of my, I guess fellow students pupils message me saying like, well done, miss. You can call me Beth.
That must be such a funny thing, because also like not only will you have help them on their journey with their studies, but hopefully inspired them to show them what's achievable.
Well, some have messaged me asking for some advice about how to get into triathlon and like how do I start, like can I join, like should I join a club and stuff. So it's nice that I have inspired people to take up like our amazing sport.
And would you go?
So what made you actually transfer to triathlons? Like, I know you said you fell out of love with running, but like to some people that's then the end of the road. And like, what made you think I can go again? I can do another Olympic cycle. I can.
I'm very stubborn. I'm not very good at quitting things. I think that's one thing my parents really instilled in us as kids. You know, like for example, we used to have to go to this wind band on a Tuesday night. And that's when track was. And I think, honestly, I had so many arguments with my mum about, can we please go to track? And she, no, you got to go to wind band. You got to have like a full curriculum of activities.
With wind band?
As in wind band.
Playing like the trumpet and stuff like that?
So I played the clarinet and the saxophone. Okay. My sister played the flute. And we'd have to go 3 hours on a Tuesday night. And all I could think of was, oh, I just really wish I was at track.
Although presumably that's quite good like VO2 max building.
Yeah, no.
A bit of lung power training, right?
Yeah. But honestly, we just counting down the days that we could go to track on a Tuesday night, and finally wore my mum down enough, and she was like, right, okay, you can go to track. But we already did running on like a Saturday and a Thursday, so she was trying to get us to do everything.
And I guess like you did all of this swimming as a junior and through uni, and you did all your running. Did you do any cycling?
No, I didn't even have a bike. I had a fixie that I used to sometimes cycle to work if I was ready in time.
So when did you start cycling?
The 8th of January 2017 or something.
Because you decided triathlon was going to be your new sport?
Because I'd moved to Leeds and so
and you needed a mode of transport.
Yeah. Well, I needed a bike because I was doing the training now. So
and training for triathlon.
Yeah, I literally moved and was like thrown at the deep end. Like.
So you committed to triathlon as your sport before you had a bike?
Yeah.
And you didn't know if you were any good at it? I
also quit my job because I had to give half term's notice. So I quit my job before half term, before I'd even gone up to Leeds to try it.
So you're a runner who's fallen out of running, who's a physics teacher, who decides that triathlon's your new sport, doesn't have a bike, no bicycle.
No bike. I bought a bike in the December before I moved to Leeds in the January.
And did you know that you were good at cycling?
No.
You just hoped?
I was like, oh, just give it a go, it'll be fine. It'll work out.
And did it all go perfectly to plan?
No, there was lots of tears. Many tears, actually. But I always just thought there was a little, like, I could see a little glimmer of it. I was like, I think I could be quite good. And I've got, like, really good people looking after me here who I don't think would help me out if they didn't think I was going to be good. So.
And do you love cycling now?
It's one of my favourite things to do. I might actually love it more than I love running.
Could you rank the three?
Running, cycling, swimming.
Running, cycling, swimming.
You realised swimming was the thing you started with?
Yeah, I just think where I live in Leeds is just, you've been up to see it. It is beautiful. Like we have such good routes on our doorstep, and I've got like great groups to ride with, and I just love seeing the world by my bike. It's great.
So many athletes have moved to Leeds recently.
Yeah, it is like an amazing part of the country. It's definitely home for me now, and yeah, I just love it there. And
so the reason why you moved up from Twickenham up to Leeds was because that's where the Leeds Talent Hub is and where everyone who trains for triathlon is based. Is that right? Yeah, I mean it's kind of split between, I guess, Leeds and Loughborough now, but yeah, I think well, I mean, it probably still is now. You know, we've got like some of the best athletes in the world that train out of Leeds, and you know, some like the Brownleys, for example, like they put Leeds on the map. So I think it's a great place to train, and there's so many options on our doorstep. Because I saw through the Paris Olympics, Yorkshire ranking higher than almost every other country. Yeah, I think I was actually down as the Scottish. Oh, so you weren't included in? I don't think so. Oh, so would you have wanted to be on the Yorkshire count?
Probably should stick to my roots, shouldn't I?
I saw a similar thing for Loughborough. They were like, if Loughborough University was a country, because they've got so many international students as well, Loughborough, it would be one of the top performing medal countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
So kind of we've moved up to Leeds and you're giving triathlon a go. You've got your bike and starting to... When did you start to see success in triathlon?
I think... So I didn't do many triathlons in my first year just because I needed to do some training sort of thing. So I probably only did about 4, but had qualified for Commonwealth Games like on one of the categories, like maybe the B or C category. So that was for the following year. And my swimming was like almost there, but I just would find that I would get dropped from, I'd get dropped from bike packs and I'd go from like maybe first pack all the way back to like 4th and 5th pack. I couldn't seem to hold the wheel and I didn't have the muscles and the power to do it. And then I would be able to run, but I'm not at the front of the race at that point. Like I'd have the quickest run split, but there's not much point if I'm
catch up.
Yeah, it's not much point if I'm a minute and a half behind. So it was quite clear where I needed to make improvements. But I think the first kind of little bit that made me realise that I could be quite good at this was probably 2019 when I won the European Champs. So and I think that was like kind of the starting block, really.
And what did you do to bring your bike into a place that you could win the European Champs?
I think it was just, consistent training. And I think from there to now, what I've really focused on has been, group riding and the kind of more skill-based stuff. Because I'm strong enough, it's just I didn't have the exposure as a kid when it's a lot easier to pick up skills, skills like swimming and I guess, cycling because it's more skill-based than a lot of other sports, but just being able to ride in groups comfortably and, in close proximity and just finding ways that makes it as easy as possible to get round without, ruining your legs for the run.
So it was almost more of like building up the skill of the cycling than the fitness in the legs. It was more about cornering and getting close to each other and getting comfortable. Yeah,
exactly. Just being like comfortable with my bike and being able to kind of throw it around a bit. And also something we worked on really hard in the last couple of years is the tactical side of it because, obviously going into the Olympics this year, I was a massive target as, someone that people wanted to get rid of for the run because you don't want to be coming off as one of the quickest runner in the field. So we really looked at that and how to kind of, it sounds silly, but how to like spot when attacks are going to happen and where to position yourself. And that's been really, really good for me. And that really helps this year.
And I guess kind of like, I can resonate with this bigger level of triathlon and doing my Ironmans as well. And I guess you as well, Anya. How have you found, I guess now you've got 3 sports to diversify your, I guess like emotional attachment to exercise. And you might get a little bit of a niggle on the run and you can focus on your cycling and your swimming.
Yeah.
How do you find mentally having 3 sports compared to when you just had the one and you were all focused on running?
I really enjoy it because I think, if you're injured, at least the cross training that you're doing is relevant to your sport. So it's not like, if you're injured on the run and you're a runner, obviously the swimming and the biking helps. But now if I do that, I'm doing a bit more swimming and a bit more biking. That's obviously going to improve my overall triathlon. So I think it really helps keep it varied for me. And I just enjoy like doing my 3 different sports with different people and just it's good, it's different.
Yeah, I'm clueless about triathlons, but I'm like trying to absorb knowledge. I was shocked, you don't have to go into details or anything, but like of how little running like pro triathletes do, like compared to marathon training. Like, did you find that weird suddenly like doing far less running, or are you happy?
I think everyone's different. Like I definitely do on the lower end of what triathletes do for running.
What would be your
because
typical...
it's a skill you have.
Yeah, like probably like 35 miles a week. A lot of it is like quality work.
And is that because you don't need to do as much volume because you're on the bike and doing on the swim so much, so you can do more at intensity? Or
I think I'm just like I am a natural runner. That like when I'm running fast, I feel like I look quite good doing it. As opposed to like doing slower runs. I find that quite tedious. So I tend just to kind of do the quality rather than quantity. But it was really clear to everyone, I think, that my swimming bike needed improvement, and there's only so many hours in a week that you can do of training before it's just too tiring, and you start to kind of lose form. So yeah, I just really focused on the bits that I needed to improve on, and I can build my engine that way by doing a lot of swimming and biking, and then just kind of do the mechanical side on the run.
And I guess you mentioned that part of the reason why you wanted to work as a teacher was to give you almost like a mental outlet outside of exercise. Obviously, triathlon takes a bit more time to train for than running, so maybe that's why you can't work at the same time. Have you found it a challenge having all your life focused on your performance and your exercise, or are you happy letting go of that side of your life?
I think now just, initially I was doing a little bit of tutoring just to, because I didn't have the sponsors when I first moved to triathlon, so I was doing a little bit of tutoring just to kind of, I guess, keep afloat sort of thing. But now, yeah, the training that I do, I'm doing 32 hours a week of training, and yeah, I'm tired and I need to sleep and I need to eat, and yeah, it is a full-time job, everything else that comes outside of just training. So yeah, I just don't have the time now.
In your triathlon starting out, did you ever doubt that you wouldn't make it?
Yeah, there was definitely times, like one, so I won the Europeans in 2019, but that same year I raced my first grand final, which is the World Triathlon Series Championships, which is the end race of the season. So I did that one on the 2019 year, and I finished like 25th or something, or 28th. And I just remember being like shocked, like, oh God, like this is not going to be easy. And I just remember thinking, like, being a bit scarred actually, coming back from Lausanne and being a bit like, I'm so far away from being at the top here. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm going to be good enough. Yeah, that was like a real like moment for me, like, have I made the right decision here?
And I guess like you do get that. You become the world champion at triathlon.
Yeah.
Was that like becoming the world champion, being the best in the world is success, and anything less than that is not success? Or like, what were you working for? Were you just enjoying it and seeing what you could do? Like, what was the thing that was driving you?
So last year when I won the world champs, that it was not on my radar at all. Like I thought I could win a World Series last year. I probably thought I could win a World Series the year before, but I didn't. So last year was the first year that I managed to do that. And then they kind of came thick and fast that year. Like, I'd won, by the end of the season, I'd won 4, and I was like, okay. But my whole goal for last year was just to qualify for the games. And then to win both of the races that I had to be top 3 in and win the world champs, I was like, wow, okay. That was not what I was expecting at all. So, yeah, I think as athletes as well, it's always never enough. Like, well, certainly for me, there's always something else, and I think that's almost a downfall of kind of being a professional athlete. It's like there's always something else around the corner, and there's always another World Championship series that you can win.
I guess you're the world champion, and there's the Olympics next year.
Yeah.
And I guess like you mentioned it with doing bike tactics. Like, how did you feel going into Paris, knowing that you were doing the hot favourite?
It was like a lot of pressure, quite stressful, a lot of sleepless nights. Yeah, it's not been like the easiest of years, to be honest, to deal with it all, with the pressure and just everything, the expectation that comes with it. It's been really hard, and yeah, but one thing I can say is, like, I really enjoyed the journey this year and the last couple of years, but especially this year. It's been like amazing, and I've had like my whole team has pulled around me, and yeah, it's been really good.
And on reflection, did you enjoy the Olympic Games?
I did. It was a much better experience for me than Rio.
Really?
Yeah.
How was the relay triathlon? Because there's obviously nothing like, well, I guess there is the 400 meter relay and things in running and 100, but yeah, that seems like so much fun.
Yeah, no, it is good fun. I've been last leg before, but not in like a team like that, and also with the kind of pressure of that, so that was a lot. But yeah, it's a great atmosphere, and I don't know, I think you find a little bit extra. I don't know why, but I think maybe because you've seen your teammates lay it all out, and you just find that little bit extra, because even in that relay, I got detached. I was maybe 3 seconds behind the two girls, and then I found something from I don't know where, because it's very difficult to run yourself back on when you've been dropped like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, it's like one of the best races to watch in the whole Olympics, that, you do 80 minutes of racing and it comes down to less than a second between the three of you. It was really exciting that, and hopefully, like inspiring lots of kids to take up triathlon. And I had so many messages from people saying that it was such a brilliant race and they really enjoyed it. So to put triathlon on the map and to have it like be such a close race was really good.
You should have heard the office screaming downstairs. And obviously it came to a photo finish.
Yeah.
Did you know or have a feeling, or did you have to wait to see the outcome?
From my side, it did look like I had it, but then obviously the camera was on the other side. It was close. I mean, it was like what Noah Lyles won the 100 meters by. There's nothing in it.
Does it? I mean, going back to like almost doing what you're working towards and like what you deem success for, like, does it almost feel crazy that like potentially like your happiness or so many different things are depicted by a photo and like someone else that's completely out of your control?
Yeah.
Like, how does that affect you mentally? Or are you at peace with that? Or
yeah, I mean, I think you can like be upset about it or sad, but at the end of the day, if you actually, and this is what I've been thinking since the games, if you think about how many people actually come home with a medal from the Olympics, it's like a really small number.
Absolutely. And I guess we probably should talk about what's next to you, but it's not one, but it's 2 Olympic medals.
Yes, it is.
Do you want to hold them up for anyone watching on YouTube?
Yeah.
We have 2.
So this is my relay one. It's in a bit better shape than my individual one. It's been a bit manhandled.
And that's too much celebrating in Paris.
Too much, yeah.
And so you were just telling us beforehand, but what's in the middle of the medals as well?
Yeah, so this bit here is part of the Eiffel Tower, which they kind of, when they were refurbing it, they melted it down and they put them in the medals. So it's like one of the best souvenirs you can get from Paris.
I think
and I got 2.
That is pretty bloody cool.
Yeah.
And they've been by your side, going everywhere with you since?
No, I was meant to take them to the last super try in the States, but I left them in at home. So
you had the Spaniels guarding them?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Charlie was on guard, but no, I'm taking them everywhere with me now.
Amazing.
Because everyone wants to see them. So.
I would say they should. I think it's amazing to see an Olympic medal in the flesh.
Never touched one.
I guess one thing that you've done since the Olympics.
Yeah.
Let your hair down and go straight to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was very good. I hadn't initially planned to do Boston Super Try, so I was only doing Chicago because of Taylor Swift, and I ended up doing both, but just flew back, especially for Taylor Swift, and it was amazing.
If Taylor Swift is listening, I want her to know that.
Yeah, I know. I wish she knew I was in the crowd that night. But I went with one of my friends that swims with us, so we did that, and we had a right fun week. We stayed in the Savoy in London, and we got all dressed up because you know what it's like for the Taylor Swift. You have to go dressed the part. So we had like sparkly leotards and cowboy boots and glitter gems all over us. So it was really fun, and I actually think, ironically, I raced better in Chicago, having let my hair down a little bit that week, and just had a bit of fun and did some normal things.
Just relax after a pretty intense.
Yeah, I actually thought I thought throwing myself back into training and like my normal was going to be what I needed, but turns out it wasn't. So.
And I guess you mentioned after Rio, kind of post-Olympic blues.
Yeah.
How have you felt since Paris this time around?
It's actually been a lot worse than Rio.
Oh.
Yeah. It's it's been really hard. Just the feeling like I wasn't enough. I know that sounds silly because I got 2 bronze medals, but just I find it difficult to explain it, but just feeling like really like almost like a bit depressed. And I feel silly saying that because I've got 2 medals, so I need to like look at the bigger picture. But it's just when everything was just geared around one race for the past like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And you maybe don't get the result that you like really, really wanted, but you still have a medal. So it's like a little bit bittersweet, you know. It's kind of hard, but it's getting better. Like every day is better. It's not like I'm on like the roller coaster as much anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, I feel like it's just hard.
You're more than enough for us, so we couldn't be any prouder of you.
I know. I'm like, people keep reminding me, like, you've got 2 bronze medals and you're world champion. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's like the percentage of people that, you know, get the gold. And yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that. I wanted the gold, but you know, it's so hard.
Yeah.
And just the pressure, and it's just, yeah.
And so obviously you finished and went out to do some races in America.
Yeah.
Are you going to calm it down for a bit? Have you got more races coming up? Like, what are you going to do to keep you busy and focused on?
I still got quite a full calendar. I'm racing the Super Tri in London this weekend, which I'm excited about, a home race. And it's a good one because we swim in the dock in Canary Wharf, so it's really fun.
Oh, that would be nice for the
Yeah,
parents.
and the home crowd's always really good. And then I've got a couple of World Series races left, and then just the end of the Super Tri season. And then I am out of office.
Good. And what does out of office look like? You're going to go on holiday? You're going to bring your bike with you? Or
No, well, the bike will probably be coming with me because I'll be going straight from the race, but
Okay.
I can't say I'll be building it.
Right.
I think we're going to go to stay in a hotel in Dubai for a couple of nights. They're putting us up, and then I might be tagging along with David on his work trip to Thailand. TPC.
that would be nice. And so does that mean you need to find a nice music festival to go to over the next few days ahead of the London racing weekend and relax so you can have a good performance?
I know. I don't think Taylor's still in town though.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's on her European leg.
You have to go find Oasis instead.
I'm gonna get probably unpopular opinion. I'm not like a big Oasis fan.
So, I mean, I haven't been queuing up for tickets for that.
Definitely wasn't.
If it was Taylor Swift, I would be.
You know, I think I don't know if this is a myth, but I think Taylor Swift does a lot of her training
On the treadmill. Yeah, I knew
and
that.
she'll
Sing her song.
sing her song while like jogging or walking uphill or something to practice all of the steps.
It was very impressive. Like 3.5 hours with minimal time off stage doing her outfit changes. Bang, 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 bang. It was, yeah. It's a performance.
What do you reckon's harder? 2 bronze medals at the Olympics or Taylor Swift performance?
I think it's a close call, you know. I mean, our event's only 2 hours. And I've not done 100 triathlons in the last...
Well, you don't.
18
You
months.
come close. You do quite a lot.
Yeah, I've done quite a few. The last couple of years I've done less.
Fair.
But yeah, I think, it's very impressive. Because it's like a performance. And she's doing that night on night on night. It's impressive.
Well, there we are. We're going to send ourselves off to Steph, who's going to come in with our coaching tip of the week.
My top tip today is on easy running. Easy running will make up most of the volume within your training plan, and it is exactly what it says on the tin, nice and easy. A good measure of making sure your easy run is at the right intensity is by making sure you can hold a conversation during these runs. These runs are really important for improving your endurance and helping you to recover for those faster, harder sessions.
Thank you very much for that, Steph. So we have our discussion to talk through, and today's is, what are your top 3 must-dos on race day morning?
I think you'll be a good one to comment on this. Well, we can both share what we like to do. So I'll let you have time to
Okay, I'll think about it.
think of yours. Mine would be getting up early and having a coffee straight away. Partly because I like coffee, but also gets the toilet one going. I then have my Weetabix as quickly as I can. Again, to make sure that that's coming in well before trip to the toilet. And then relatively, I like to get to the start of wherever we're going on or whatever I'm doing, whether it's a marathon or triathlon, as early as possible, so that way there's as little stress, as little things that can go wrong as possible, and try and almost get myself into the starting pens nice and early. Make sure I've got my GPS on my watch ready, make sure I've done all those little things so that there's as little to worry about as possible other than going around and running, cycling or whatever I'm doing that day. What about you? Any things that you like to do on race day?
Yeah, it's usually very, very samey. But if it's like a kind of midday race or afternoon race, I'll usually get up and go for like a jog or a spin, usually a jog, for like 10, 15 minutes. I will eat the same thing, which is rice mixed with yogurt and banana and honey, which is a bit rogue, but it is just easy on the stomach and yeah, usually don't have any problems. And get a good playlist in
Nice.
to like kind of distract me and I don't know, I guess like take me somewhere else and not think about the race.
When did you first mix rice with yogurt?
I've been doing that for a while now because you get like the protein from the Greek yogurt as well, so there's a bit of...
But the first time you had yogurt on rice, did you not think this is strange?
No,
like rice
because
pudding.
it's kind of like rice pudding, yeah. And with the honey.
That's quite a northern thing, right?
No, I know loads of athletes. that
No, I
do
know,
it.
It's a common athlete
Yeah,
food, but I'm
yeah.
just thinking the first time you have rice and yogurt, you must have been getting that down and be like, this is a bizarre
It is a-
concoction.
Yeah, it's a bit rogue, but I mean, I'm not having that other than race week.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just
Have you had rice for breakfast before?
No, but I know people. I know Phil Testament has like rice pudding.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, no, I know it's quite a
It's
common.
calorific
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, it's like a must for me.
Nice.
And if it's an evening race, I'll have 2 lots of it. You know, I've got rice and probably more rice.
Well, that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come on to our this or that. So present you 2 options, which are,
Okay.
and you're going to pick between them. So first up, would you rather? You've almost answered this already, so we'll see. Never ever swim ever again, or never cycle ever again.
Never swim.
See?
What about you, Anya?
I'm going to never swim. Yeah.
I'm never swimming.
Yeah.
Right, we're land animals by the sound of things. So number 2, would you rather never ever be able to listen to Taylor Swift ever again,
Okay.
or you have to wear a swimming cap every day for the rest of your life?
I'd wear the swimming cap.
No.
Yeah.
You're sitting here right now just sitting.
I swear, yeah.
Don't know if it looked good on Instagram.
No, it would be interesting.
You might be more viral. The woman who always wears a swimming cap.
Yeah. Does that mean I can still listen to Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
With a swimming cap on.
Yeah, definitely that one.
You'd have worn your sequins and your boots to see Taylor with a swimming cap.
Yeah, but I could get one that looks like hair.
You mean like a wig?
Well, no, I could wear the cap and I could put hair on top, right?
Yeah.
What you mean? So you put your hair under your cap and then you put a wig on top of your cap?
Yeah, but you didn't specify that.
I feel like you've got to expose the swimming cap because you wouldn't wear a swimming
Okay,
cap
yeah,
to a
I'll still
pool.
do that.
Okay.
But you could put a bike helmet on top of this.
Yeah, you could wear it. It'd probably be more aerodynamic. It might be the...
Yeah, I'd definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Anya?
I'm not listening to Taylor Swift ever again.
I
like Taylor
I like
Swift.
Taylor Swift quite a lot, but I would rather not wear a swimming cap.
Same.
I can't believe that. I thought that was the most obvious pick not to wear a swimming cap.
Nah.
Side note, I went swimming in Barcelona last week and I didn't bring a swimming hat and they said we needed to own a swimming hat. And so they went to Lost Property and they literally got me an old man's like pair of trunks and I had to put it on my head and tie it with a hairband to be allowed
An
to
old
swim.
man swimming cap.
It was a pair of trunks. It was,
You wore an old man's trunks on your head.
and I had to tie it with. And it was like the material of
Gross.
trunks, not a swimming hat either. It was so bizarre.
How was that productive?
Yeah, it came off every single stroke, but they made me wear it.
Because they didn't want your hairs in the pool.
Well, I don't know, but I think it was more.
They're very funny like that in
But
Spain,
then they also
actually.
do like nudist swims, and I was like, well, you can't do
Wait,
both.
do the nudists have to wear a swimming cap? Or are they
know.
just naked?
I actually don't know.
Because I feel like that'd be quite strange. if
Maybe
you
they
got-
were naked because you had the trunks on your head.
It would be quite bizarre to have the cock and balls out and then a swimming cap on. Like, just a really odd combo.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Sorry.
back to it. Final one.
Mm-hmm.
For a triathlon, would you rather do it on a fixie bike, so fixed gears, one gear, can't change gear, or have to wear your carbon shoes for all 3 legs? So you've got no clip-on shoes and you have to swim in your carbon shoes.
Fixie.
Fixie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's an easy choice,
Yeah, that was easy.
even if it was a hilly one in Yorkshire. It's one less thing to think about. No gears.
Yeah. And everyone's on the same level playing field, really, then. Because if everyone's doing it.
Oh, no, they're all on their own kit. You're doing...
Oh, yeah, but I'd get loads of time back on the run if they're running in carbon shoes.
So you're on the fixie.
Yeah, I'm on the fixie.
What you do?
I haven't carbon shoes. I think my only experience is hilly triathlons, so.
I told you at the start, I
Yeah.
forgot my shoes for a triathlon this year, my cycling shoes. So I did the
Yeah.
whole thing in my running shoes, in my carbon shoes, and I managed to still get the best bike split on the day.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be fine.
Well, hang on, but you've chosen the fixie.
Yeah, but
We're choosing,
we're choosing
the carbon shoes.
I know, but you're not going to swim that fast in
No.
carbon shoes.
I mean, I don't swim very fast anyway.
You didn't do your swimming in your trainers.
That is true. Okay, we'll let you off. Although they probably float, all the foam.
And it's definitely easier to.
Fins.
But they might. I think they'll actually help your line because
I think it's easier to cycle in running shoes than it is to run in carbon bike shoes. You tried running in carbon bike shoes. It's a bit slippy.
We weren't saying you have to cycle in carbon bike shoes.
Then you have to run in them.
No, we meant. Sorry, the question was: would you rather cycle a fixie, or do the all three legs in your carbon running shoes?
Oh, the carbon running shoes.
Yeah, carbon running shoes. Sorry.
All 3 legs and carbon running shoes.
Okay, so we're aligned.
I thought you meant carbon bike shoes.
No, that would be horrendous. I agree.
Yeah, that's sorry. Okay.
Because I'm not quite as skilled as you are, so I do my triathlons
Yeah.
where I
okay,
clip
sorry.
around in my cycling shoes, and that's hard enough.
I thought you meant.
So you're now
swim, bike, and run in
you're now
carbon
team-
bike shoes.
So you're now swimming in your running shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that might not be that bad because the foam
Yeah.
in the shoes will make you float really nicely, and then you've got a nice straight line.
Yeah. I think definitely that. Yeah.
Nice.
Try it.
Do you want to share the embarrassing story of the week?
Yes. So we have an embarrassing story sent in.
So our runners will be sending in our
Yeah.
embarrassing stories. So guys, if you want to send in one for future episodes, send them to podcast@runner.com. Send us a voice note on Instagram, and we can read them out in future weeks. And Beth, have you got any embarrassing stories you want to share?
No.
No. Okay, we'll let you
It's
off.
probably been shared already.
Okay. I went on a running date with a guy I met on Hinge. We ran a very enjoyable 5K after work and I had a great time. Once we finished, we went to the pub for nearby pints. Conversation and drinks were flowing. Then I went for a pee and caught my first glimpse of myself post-run in the mirror. My mascara was all over my cheeks. Bearing in mind this was at least 3 drinks in where my face must have looked like this. I wiped as much as I could away and walked back out. Obviously, I had to address the elephant in the room, so I explained nonchalantly as I could. I couldn't believe you didn't tell me I had mascara all over my face. To which he replied, "Oh no, don't worry, it wasn't that bad. I honestly barely noticed. It was only a bit here, here, and here," pointing out basically every spot that covered my entire face. I now have to make sure I only ever wear waterproof mascara for every occasion, even if it's just going into the office.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That was a schoolboy error there. Always was for mascara.
Wow.
We've done that.
I have been on a first date and a run at the same time, but I also don't have to think about my makeup, which is quite convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, race day
Waterproof
makeup's
mascara.
serious to think about, yeah.
We don't really do that in triathlon.
Yeah, true.
The only thing I do is put my brows on.
Did you wear
And my
makeup
hair.
for the Olympics?
No, but I always do my hair in a certain way.
Okay.
And I usually put like gel through my brows.
Have you-
Like, so they look darker.
Nice. Have you?
And fake tan, sorry, I do that as well.
Anya, do you have a fake tan?
Never.
It's quite funny. It's quite funny. Anya will go home on a Tuesday and turn up on the Wednesday morning at the office, and she's been on a 2-week vacation.
Yeah, do you get the jokes as well? I get the jokes.
I
all the
get,
time.
but like, yeah, being like, oh, was it sunny last night
Yeah.
in London?
And have you been on a running first date?
Yeah, plenty. Yeah.
And do you wear waterproof mascara, or have you made the same mistake?
Well, I've had race photos where I've got like makeup down my face, but your triathlons is harder because I'm like, okay, I've got to do like dye my eyebrows. I've got to put
Yeah.
fake tan on, like,
Yeah.
so it's like permanent.
It's hard being a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, do you want to go with the final question of the day?
One final question to round this off that we ask all of our guests. So you are naked on the start of your next running race. We'll do a running race, and you can only bring 3 things with you. What are those 3 things? We'll call it a marathon.
I'm going to say a leotard, because that's one.
She's smart.
She's a triathlete.
I'm going to say my Garmin
Nice.
and my carbon shoes. I'll
No,
go with those socks.
I guess you definitely don't need socks as a triathlete.
Yeah, I don't need socks.
No sunnies?
No.
I think that's pretty good combo.
That is good.
I think that's your combo, isn't it? Carbon
Yeah,
shoes. No,
I'll
are you smartwatch?
Yeah.
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 Oh wow, there we are. You've optimized it.
Yeah. And I went leotard as well, so I don't have to use 2 crop top shorts.
Yeah, we've had people turning up in sports bras completely naked in the bottom half, but you've worked it out.
Yeah.
I think we've actually finessed the question. We're going to need a new question
I think
because everyone's kind of like converging on the same answer now.
Okay, and I think that is my go-to.
I think as a teacher, you get a big green tick.
Thank you.
Correct answer.
Thanks.
Well, Well, there we are. Thank you, Beth, so much for coming on the podcast. And it's amazing to hear about what an amazing journey. And thank you so much for bringing in these medals
no worries.
and
Thanks.
inspiring an amazing generation of triathletes to come.
Thank you very much.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Runna. If you want to train for any running goal, please download the app. And don't forget, you can use the code Runna Podcast for a 2-week free trial.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, follow, do all of that nonsense, and we'll be back here next week. And if you want to be featured, send us your embarrassing running story. Either send us a voice note on Instagram or send us an email to podcast@runner.com so we can have a good laugh at your expense in Runner HQ and share it on one of the next episodes.